The 1880s was an age of incredible change, from new technologies to cultural shifts. So today, we're counting down the 30 forgotten things from 1880s America. Horse-drawn streetcars. Before electric trolleys took over, many cities had horse-drawn streetcars like these, rattling down the tracks. They were pulled by teams of horses, either walking or trotting, making them a slower but still convenient way to get around. Telegraph messages. Back then, if you needed to send news across the country, you couldn't just hop on a plane or even drive a car. You had to use the telegraph. These operators would send coded messages through wires at lightning speed, making it the fastest way to deliver important info. Coal oil lamps. If you wanted some light in your house, chances are you didn't have electricity, so you turned to coal oil lamps. These lamps used cheap kerosene fuel, were easy to use and relatively safe compared to other lighting options. Many families had them scattered throughout their homes. Ice boxes. To keep food cool before modern fridges, people used ice boxes. These were big blocks of ice delivered by an iceman, which would last for days. Every household needing ice would have one stored in their home, from restaurants to private houses. Tin bathtubs. In the 1880s, running water was a luxury. Most homes didn't have it, meaning bath time was special. Families would drag out their tin bathtubs into the kitchen, where they shared one big bath each week. Talk about a throwback. Outhouses. Even as late as the 1880s, most homes still had no indoor plumbing. Many families relied on outdoor outhouses, which could be simple wooden structures to more elaborate brick outhouses. For those living in cities, outhouses were often shared and never too far away. Cast iron stoves. In the 1880s, the cast iron stove was the heart of most homes. They were used not just for cooking, but for heating, making them essential year-round. Each stove was a status symbol, often passed down and cherished for generations. Milk delivered by wagon. In the 1880s, grocery shopping meant waiting for deliveries, and milk was no exception. Farmers would load up their wagons and deliver fresh milk straight from the farm to your doorstep. It was a vital source of nutrition and a daily ritual. Sears and Montgomery Ward catalogs. Amazon wasn't around back then, but these catalogs were close to it. Sears and Roebuck and Montgomery Ward sold everything from clothing to appliances, bringing the world to your doorstep without the internet. These catalogs were essential for rural shoppers. Snake oil salesmen. Traveling medicine shows were all the rage in the 1880s. Snake oil salesmen would roam town promising miracle cures for everything from rheumatism to baldness. Their claims were often bogus, but the spectacle of their shows made them popular. Phrenology charts. Phrenology was huge in the 1800s. This pseudoscience claimed that bumps on your head revealed your personality traits and mental abilities. People would study charts like these to learn about themselves and others based on their skull shape. Wanted posters. The Old West was wild and justice was swift. Wanted posters were put up for anyone who broke the law, from cattle rustlers to train robbers. They described the crimes and offered rewards leading to their capture. Some became famous like Robin Hood, carpetbags, and steamer trunks. Forget suitcases. The travel bag of choice was the carpetbag or steamer trunk. These were durable, often handmade, and came in various sizes. They were great for long journeys, but also quite heavy. Opera houses. Entertainment was big business in the 1880s. Small towns often had grand opera houses, which were central to life there. They hosted plays, musicals, and even political debates, bringing people together through the arts. Minstrel shows. Minstrel shows were wildly popular in the 1800s, featuring white performers in blackface makeup singing and dancing. They portrayed African Americans in exaggerated ways, often through racist stereotypes. Today, they are considered highly offensive due to their racist depictions. Nickelodeons. These coin-operated machines were the original arcade games. The first Nickelodeons were installed in the 1880s, offering moving pictures for a nickel. They quickly grew in popularity, providing affordable entertainment. Men's pocket watches. In the 1880s, a man's pocket watch wasn't just a time-keeping device. It was an accessory. They were carried everywhere, often with a gold chain, and were seen as a sign of success. They even had special vests with pockets designed just for them. Parlor rooms. In Victorian homes, the parlor was a special place. These rooms were set aside for guests and reserved for proper social visits. They were often decorated with expensive furniture and artwork, showing off the family's wealth. Hair jewelry. In the Victorian era, mourning was a public affair. After someone died, family members would make hair jewelry from their loved one's hair, like these necklaces and bracelets. It was a way to keep a piece of the deceased close and show off their loss. Calling cards. Back then, social rules were strict. When you visited someone in the 1880s, you had to leave a calling card. These were small cards with your name and sometimes a fancy logo left behind when you called on someone important. It was a way to show respect and keep up appearances. Dime novels. For cheap thrills, there were dime novels. These paperback books were filled with Western adventures and exciting tales, perfect for those on the go. They were inexpensive, easy to read, and often quite violent. Think of them as the original Pulp Fiction. Trick photography portraits. People went crazy for these ghostly double exposure photos. In the 1880s, photographers experimented with techniques like this to create eerie images. They were popular for their otherworldly feel and added a spooky twist to family photos. Penny farthing bicycles. The penny farthing bicycle was all the rage in the 1880s. These bikes had a huge front wheel and a small back wheel, making them tall and tricky to ride. But that didn't stop people from giving it a go. Corsets and bustle dresses. For women in the 1880s, fashion was a way of life. Corsets were worn to cinch the waist, while bustle dresses featured a padded back skirt, creating an hourglass shape. These styles were not only fashionable, but defined women's lives, dictating how they stood, sat, and moved. Mustache wax. Speaking of facial hair, the 1880s was the age of the mustache. Men would use wax to shape and hold their mustaches in place. This was a time when having a beard or mustache showed maturity and masculinity. Boarding houses. In the cities, boarding houses were everywhere. They were a cheap way for workers and travelers to stay in town, offering basic lodging and sometimes meals. These houses were run like businesses and provided affordable housing. Shotoka lectures. Chautauqua was a traveling show that brought education and culture to small towns. These lecturers would cover topics like science, history, and philosophy. They were a hit in the 1880s, helping to spread knowledge and entertain at the same time. Street organs and barrel pianos. These music machines were a staple of street corners in the 1880s. They played popular tunes on a loop and were operated by turning a crank. From barrel pianos to street organs, music was always nearby. Photograph tintypes. In the 1800s, photographs weren't as expensive as they seemed. The process was quick and cheap, making tintypes affordable for most families. They were popular as souvenirs and mementos, capturing moments in time. Traveling circuses. A circus was a major event in the 1880s. These traveling shows would shut down entire towns. People would line up to watch the parade of elephants and other animals as they made their way through the streets. It was a spectacle like no other.